the sky on fire. The morning sun over Metropolis was golden, shimmering across the glass towers and bouncing off the steady river below. Children laughed on their way to school, traffic horns mingled with the chatter of sidewalk cafes, and the world seemed, for once, at peace. Clark Kent had almost forgotten what mornings like this felt like. Almost. High above, beyond the blue sky and drifting clouds, something stirred. It began as a whisper in the air, strange static, a vibration so subtle that only the most sensitive of instruments could detect it. Satellites blinked off one by one. Communication lines fizzled. Then came the sound, a low, trembling hum, so deep it rattled glass in its frames and made birds scatter in frantic flocks. Lois Lane looked up from her coffee, notebook already in hand. "Clark," she muttered, "tell me you feel that." Clark's glasses slipped slightly as his eyes caught the horizon. His hearing picked up something no one else could, the roar of engines not built by human hands. The peaceful morning cracked apart in a heartbeat. The sky erupted. A colossal shape tore through the clouds, blotting out the sun. Metal darker than night, longer than a dozen city blocks, and bristling with alien cannons. It wasn't one ship, it was many. Dozens. Hundreds. An armada. They moved with chilling precision, blotting out patches of sky, turning morning into twilight. At the center of it all loomed a mothership so vast that its shadow stretched across the entire bay, glowing with veins of crimson light. People screamed. Cars slammed into each other in panic. News choppers veered off course as the first wave of alien fighters screamed through the air like jagged spears of light. The city was under siege before most could even comprehend what they were seeing. Clark Kent was already gone. In his place, streaking upward with a red cape slicing through the smoke, was Superman. His eyes narrowed, catching sight of the first wave descending on Metropolis. The alien fighters opened fire, raining down bolts of searing plasma. Buildings shook as glass shattered into storms of glittering shards. Superman pushed forward, faster than sound, intercepting the blasts with his body. The air around him burned as he deflected one shot after another, protecting a crowd of terrified civilians scrambling across the streets. "Stay down! Stay together!" his voice boomed, carrying strength and reassurance. The alien fighters circled back, their sleek black frames shifting and unfolding like predatory birds. Superman punched upward, a single strike sending shockwaves through the sky as he smashed one out of formation. But for each he destroyed, two more swarmed in, darting with machine precision. Then came the voice. Not spoken, but felt. A thunderous echo inside every mind on Earth. "People of Earth. I am Lord Veyrion of the Andrus Dominion. This world's heart will power the rebirth of my empire. Resist, and your suffering will be prolonged. Submit, and your extinction will be merciful." Lois, watching from the Daily Planet's rooftop, gritted her teeth. "He wants Earth's core," she whispered, scribbling furiously. "That's why they're here." Superman heard it too. His eyes narrowed, heat vision simmering just below the surface. Veyrion wasn't here for conquest. He was here to drain the planet dry, to rip its very lifeblood from beneath humanity's feet. The mothership's underbelly began to open, revealing massive drills of glowing alien alloy. They glimmered like fangs descending from the heavens. If they reached Earth's mantle, the planet would be torn apart. "Not while I'm still breathing," Superman growled. He rocketed upward, slamming into another fighter, tearing it apart with a single motion before blasting two more with heat vision. Civilians cheered faintly from below, but fear still outweighed hope. The sheer scale of the invasion dwarfed even Superman's power. From within the mothership, a figure watched, the towering silhouette of Lord Veyrion. His armor glistened with obsidian and crimson, his staff pulsing with quantum energy that crackled against the dark metal floor. 4 eyes burned like molten fire as he studied Superman's defiance. "So, the champion of this world reveals himself," Veyrion rumbled. "Good. I would hate for this conquest to be too easy. Back on Earth, Superman caught the reflection of fire in the glass of a skyscraper as another wave of plasma rained down. His jaw clenched. He had protected Earth from meteors, monsters, and even gods. But this was different. This was war. As he hovered above the skyline, cape whipping in the alien winds, Superman felt the weight of billions on his shoulders. He could hear the cries from New York, from London, from Tokyo, each city under simultaneous siege. The Armada wasn't just here, it was everywhere. For the first time in years, Superman felt something cold in his chest. Doubt. Could he truly stop this? Could one man stand against an entire armada bent on consuming the Earth itself? His fists clenched. He had no choice. With a roar that shook the heavens, Superman launched himself toward the mothership, leaving a blazing trail across the darkened sky. The battle for Earth had begun. Clash of worlds. The sky above Metropolis burned with the fury of alien fire. The once proud skyline was now cloaked in smoke, punctuated by streaks of plasma bolts carving across the horizon. Superman darted between the blasts, striking down fighters with furious precision, but the sheer number of enemy ships stretched even him to the breaking point. Each time he destroyed one, two more appeared. The mothership hung above like a titan of metal and malice, its drills descending slowly toward the Earth. The sound was otherworldly, like the grinding of a million gears chewing into stone. People on the ground covered their ears as the oppressive vibration rolled through the city, rattling bones. Superman clenched his jaw. He couldn't be everywhere at once. Civilians screamed in every direction. Fires erupted. The city trembled. Then his hearing sharpened, Lois's voice among the chaos. "Clark! Over here!" On the roof of the Daily Planet, Lois waved frantically as a squadron of alien drones descended. Superman shot across the city in a blur, intercepting their blasts with his chest before landing hard enough to crack the rooftop. "Go! Get to cover!" he ordered. "Not until you tell me what they want," Lois shot back, pen still in hand despite the destruction. Superman glanced upward. "They want the planet itself. Its core. They'll rip Earth apart to power their empire." Lois's eyes widened, the truth sinking in. "Then you'd better stop them, Smallville." Superman gave her the faintest smile before taking off again. Far above, deep within the mothership, Lord Veyrion watched the battle unfold. His four eyes glowed with cruel satisfaction as he leaned on his pulsating quantum staff. Around him, alien officers chittered commands in a guttural tongue, orchestrating the Armada's siege. "Impressive," Veyrion rumbled, his voice echoing across the chamber. "This Superman bleeds himself for these people. Admirable and foolish. One man cannot defy the Dominion." With a motion of his staff, the image of Superman flickered across a massive holographic display. "Bring him to me." The sky tore open with a thunderous boom. A new craft descended, sleek, angular, and unlike the smaller warships. It was a command vessel, bristling with energy cannons, shielded in alien alloys. From its hull leapt armored warriors, each twice the size of a man, their bodies enhanced with cybernetic plating and blades that shimmered with crackling energy. Superman collided with the first one midair, his punch sending it hurtling through 3 skyscrapers before it exploded in flame. But the others closed in fast, striking him from all sides. Their weapons cut through the air with enough force to rattle his bones. Superman gritted his teeth, countering with devastating blows. He spun midair, delivering a kick that shattered one warrior's armor like glass. Another he grabbed by the throat, hurling it into its comrade with an explosion that lit up the skyline. But as he fought, he felt something new, an energy binding him, pulling him upward. The command vessel opened, and in a flash of crimson light, Superman was yanked inside. The interior of the mothership was unlike anything he had ever seen. Dark corridors pulsed with alien veins of glowing red, as if the ship itself was alive. At its center, in a massive chamber lined with towering spires, stood Lord Veyrion. The alien warlord was a mountain of obsidian armor, his staff humming with unstable energy. His 4 eyes locked onto Superman with cold amusement. "Welcome, Kryptonian," Veyrion growled. His voice carried like rolling thunder. "Your legend precedes you, even beyond the stars." Superman stood tall, fists clenched. "You won't take this world. Not while I'm here." Veyrion laughed, a sound that shook the chamber. "You misunderstand. This world is already mine. I could shatter it with a thought. But I want you to watch as it burns, to see your precious humans fall. And when your hope dies, you will beg me to end it." Without warning, Veyrion struck. The staff cracked against the floor, unleashing a shockwave of quantum energy that blasted Superman across the chamber. He hit the wall with enough force to crater steel, shaking his head as sparks rained around him. Superman shot forward, fists glowing with heat vision. He struck Veyrion square in the chest, the impact echoing like thunder. But instead of falling, the alien absorbed the blow, his staff flaring brighter. He swung it upward, catching Superman under the chin and hurling him into the air. Superman crashed back down, the ship's floor denting beneath him. "Your strength is great," Veyrion said, his voice steady, unshaken. "But you fight for mortals. I fight for an empire of billions. Do you see the difference?" Superman spat blood, his eyes blazing. "Yeah, I see it. You fight for power. I fight for them." With a roar, Superman unleashed his heat vision, twin beams of scarlet light cutting across the chamber. Veyrion raised his staff, splitting the beams, redirecting them into the walls where they exploded in bursts of molten fire. The chamber shook. Sparks rained down. The battle had only just begun. Meanwhile, across the Earth, the invasion spread like wildfire. In London, alien drills pierced the Thames. In Tokyo, plasma bolts lit the night as fighter swarms blotted out the stars. New York burned under endless bombardment. The world's armies tried to resist, but their weapons bounced off alien shields like pebbles against a mountain. Humanity was losing hope. But even as despair spread, so too did whispers. Whispers of Superman fighting high above, taking the battle straight to the heart of the invaders. People gathered in shelters, clutching radios, praying he could do the impossible once more. Inside the mothership, Superman and Veyrion's clash shook the ship to its core. Blow after blow cracked the walls, sparks lit the chamber, and the hum of the quantum staff reverberated like a war drum. "You cannot win," Veyrion snarled, his staff pressing Superman down. Superman, teeth clenched, muscles straining, whispered back, "Then I'll make sure you lose." The battle for Earth had escalated. The last stand. The mothership shuddered under the force of combat. Sparks rained down, alien consoles flickered, and the chamber walls groaned as Superman and Lord Veyrion collided again and again. Every strike was thunder, every blow a tremor. Superman's chest heaved as he rose from the twisted floor. His cape was torn, his knuckles bloodied, but his resolve was unbroken. Across from him, Veyrion stood tall, his staff glowing brighter with every second, quantum energy crackling like chained lightning. "You're finished, Kryptonian," Veyrion boomed, his 4 eyes burning with cruel fire. "Your body weakens. Your spirit bends. And your Earth is already breaking." Superman's gaze sharpened. He could hear it, distantly, through the chaos. The cries of people around the world. The clash of armies on Earth streets. The rumble of alien drills eating into the crust. Their voices called to him, not in fear, but in faith. They believed. And as long as they believed, he could not fall. He launched forward, faster than a bullet, fists striking like meteors. Veyrion countered, his staff blocking each strike, redirecting the force into shock waves that cracked the chamber's foundations. The two titans clashed in a blur of motion, alien metal against Kryptonian strength, hope against conquest. At last, Veyrion caught Superman by the throat, slamming him into the wall. Sparks exploded as conduits ruptured. The alien warlord leaned close, his voice a venomous growl. "This world will die, and you with it." Superman's hand gripped Veyrion's wrist, unyielding. His eyes blazed red. "Not while I'm still standing." Twin beams of heat vision erupted, searing into Veyrion's chest. The alien staggered back, roaring, armor glowing molten where the beams struck. Superman surged upward, fists hammering into Veyrion's face, his chest, his staff. With a final bone-rattling punch, he shattered the staff's headpiece. The chamber went silent for a heartbeat. Then the mothership screamed. Energy surged uncontrollably through its core, crimson veins pulsing wild, unstable. Sparks erupted in showers. Systems overloaded. The weapon designed to crack continents was now imploding, threatening to consume the entire ship in a storm of quantum fire. Veyrion staggered, fury blazing in his eyes. "You fool! You've doomed us all." Superman stood tall amid the chaos. "No, I've doomed you." The alien lunged, but Superman met him head-on. The two clashed one final time, their blows shaking the chamber until the floor collapsed beneath them. They tumbled into the ship's core, a vast glowing sphere of unstable energy, swirling like a living sun. Superman pinned Veyrion against the reactor, straining against the alien's immense strength. "This ends now." With every ounce of power left in him, Superman drove Veyrion into the core. The alien warlord howled, his body engulfed in searing light, before vanishing into the storm of his own creation. The reactor screamed, cracks of energy splitting across the chamber. The mothership was going down. Superman rocketed upward, tearing through collapsing corridors, dodging fire and debris as the ship convulsed. Explosions erupted in every direction. He smashed through the outer hull and burst into the sky, cape blazing behind him as the mothership began to fall. Below, the people of Metropolis looked up as the colossal shadow of the mothership broke apart. The drills retracted, the fighters went dark, and the great ship plummeted in flames. Superman soared high above it, then dove straight into the wreckage, grabbing massive shards of falling debris and hurling them safely into the bay. His arms strained as he caught a collapsing section the size of a skyscraper, dragging it away from the heart of the city before letting it crash harmlessly into the ocean. At last, with one final push, he drove the largest fragment deep into the water, the explosion sending waves surging outward but sparing the city from annihilation. The skies cleared. The Armada was broken. Silence fell over Metropolis. Smoke curled from damaged buildings. Fires still burned. But the people were alive. Survivors emerged from shelters, their eyes searching the skies. Then they saw him, Superman, floating high above, bruised and battered but unbowed. His cape whipped in the wind, illuminated by the returning sun. Cheers rose from the streets, from rooftops, from radios across the globe. In London, in Tokyo, in New York, people who had seen death rain from the sky now raised their voices together. Humanity had survived. Hope had survived. And Superman had carried them through. On the Daily Planet roof, Lois stood among the ash and dust, notebook clutched in her hand. She looked up at him, eyes glistening. Clark had saved the world again, but more than that, he had reminded it why it was worth saving. As he descended, she met him with a faint, knowing smile. "Nice work, Smallville." Superman gave her a weary grin, his voice low but steady. "It's not over. There'll always be more battles. More Veyrions out there." "Maybe," Lois said softly. "But there's only one of you." Superman turned to the horizon, watching the sun rise behind the smoke. The world was scarred, shaken, but alive. And as long as it needed him, he would be there. Because he was not just a man. He was its last line of defense. Its unbreakable hope. He was Superman.